caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome everybody back to our regularly scheduled program. And let me tell you something, I'm still working my ass off, so it was very tough to make this 8 o'clock mark. I did not have time to work on an official monologue tonight, but that's okay. We have some topics that we're going to hit for you tonight. I'd like to welcome everybody to the chat. A little bit different of a show tonight, but everybody in the chat, we have got a doozy for you tonight. So listen, we have a lot happened over the weekend. Number one, football is back. I don't know if you like football, but we're going to touch on a little bit of sports today because I'm a Giant fan and I honestly want to rant about how horrific the Giants were. But we had a Philly Karen. By now, I'm sure you've all seen that. I'm sure you saw the video, so I'm not going to play the video for you. You've seen it 900 times, but I am going to play other videos. And what I want to focus on today is that father. That father specifically. I mean, that Karen to that father, to me, are endemic of a world that needs to leave us, but we're going to be getting into that. We have obviously the Charlotte, South Carolina stabbing. I mean, when you get into the details of that, I hate talking about all negative stuff all the time. And I try keeping it positive on this, but this is something we can't ignore. And just watching the difference, right? I mean, watching the difference with deaths and murders, like what is a worse murder? Right? It's something I maybe want you to think about the entire time we're doing this. But what is a worse murder? Somebody getting stabbed in the neck or a kid getting shot through glass at a school? I mean, to me, they're equally horrific. And I think we should be equally mortified at all of them. But it's funny how certain stories are ignored, but we're going to get into that as well. We have Mamdani and Cuomo. I wasn't going to include this until I listened to Cuomo a little bit today, and he made some really, really good arguments. Then I shot over to the Mamdani side to see what he was saying, and it's batshit crazy communist. You got to love it, man. The batshit crazy communist thing is for whatever reason, it's going for New Yorkers. And then we have your rights. We have a lot of different things that we're going to get into today. But let's start off with the Mike's Right. All right, this is not going to be an official monologue here, but I want to take this opportunity to address the Philly Karen situation. The Philly Karen situation, as you guys have all seen by now, and I'm not going to torture you with showing that haircut again and those fucking sunglasses and that cunty walk that she had walking back to her chair. I'm not going to bother you guys with that because to me, that enrages me. But what enrages me further is the reaction to it. I want to start off by prefacing it like this. This is not the first time something like this has happened in public in a ball field. I want to say that right off the bat. This type of thing happens all over the place. You have women with hair like that and glasses like that with that type of attitude everywhere. And all of them are not caught on camera. This one happened to be caught on camera. And the more you watch the father, everyone celebrates what he did, but the more you watch the father, the more you realize that that guy is the reason why that woman has the balls to act like that in the first place. For him right there. And listen, let's actually play him, because this is one of the things I want to really get into that was just absolutely fucking making me lose my shit. And this was his answer here to this question right here. Or this was his answer to de-escalation.
All I could think was make her go away. And instead of turning my back and dealing with more of that, I gave her back the ball just to get her to go away, and explain to my son that that's how you de-escalate a situation.
I gave her the ball just to make her go away, and I explained to my son that's how you de-escalate the situation. That's what he said there. Now, I want everybody to picture in their heads how that would have happened, how she came up to a Calderese holding that ball that just gave it to Valentino on his 7th birthday. That was that kid's birthday. I want everybody to close their eyes if you can and just picture how Calderese would have handled it. Better yet, I want you to tell me how you would have handled it in the chat. Because that woman walking over, grabbing his arm, yelling at him, "That's my ball, that's in my section, blah, 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 blah." He threw his arms up like it was a fucking video. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, what are you doing to me right now? If you couldn't hear him on the other videos, that's what it sounded like. It was two bitches kind of going at it. Sorry to say it, but it was. Two little bitches going at it. So, he says, let's de-escalate the situation. I have a serious problem with this word anymore. I don't know where you guys are coming from with this, but I'd love you guys to tell me where you want to be with this word de-escalate. Valentino will not be learning to de-escalate the situation. Let's just put it that way. Valentino's going to learn how to escalate the situation, and not only escalate it rapidly. Right? What you really need is a rapid escalation to get her escalation to stop. Right? It's like you can't fight fire with fire. Yes, you know what you do? You take a giant ass fire hose and you blast her with your words. And you take it to the complete next level where you're telling the husband you're going to kick his ass for his wife's actions. You rapidly escalated. What is with this de-escalation shit? When are we teaching our kids to take that type of abuse by women? Oh, I just gave her it so she could just go away? And what did that kid learn? What did he learn?
I wasn't very happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win.
Did you hear that? Well, I wasn't happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win. Bullshit, kid. You're sorry to say this, but your dad's a loser. He taught you how to lose in a situation. De-escalation in a lot of ways like that, that's not de-escalation. That's called pussing out. That's not de-escalating. That's saying, I don't want to get involved. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do here? These are dudes my age that got a fucking trophy when they took 19th place. He was the 19th place holder walking out with a trophy, all happy for himself. Now that woman comes walking over to me and she grabs my arm, right? First off, if she grabbed my arm and I'm holding my kid like he was, because you see it, he got the ball and he thought he was the proudest dad on the fucking planet. He grabbed him, he hugged his kid. He was super dad at that moment in his eyes. So I'm doing that to Valentino on his birthday, and this woman grabs my arm. She's lucky if she's not going to get one of those, like just out of reaction. Who are you? I'm hugging my son, and you come grabbing my arm. You may just get an involuntary fucking shot. That's a reaction. That's like you hit my elbow, you know, with the old doctor, they'd hit your knee and your knee would kick. You touch my arm like an asshole, I don't know. You're near my son. I'm not looking at you. But let's say I don't involuntary jab to the face, right? Because that may happen. Let's say I don't. I'm going to look over her, and she's going to say, "You took my ball that was in my area." I would say, "No, whoever gets it first, that's how it works with home runs, lady. That's how it works." Right? Do you want the ball? Are you going to take it out of my son's glove? Is that what you want to do right now? Do you want to take that ball out of my son's glove? Answer me. Because if you want to take it out of his glove, I dare you to do it. So is that what you're asking me to do? Do you want me to take that ball, or do you want to go and take that ball from my son's glove? And I'm going to talk over her ass. And then I'm going to say, do yourself a favor. Go over there and sit down before I kick your husband's ass for you being an asshole. Then what I do is I look over at my son and say, you don't ever let anybody treat you like a piece of shit ever in your life. You hear me? Yes. Yes, Daddy. Thank you. Tell people like her to go fuck herself, because she's never been told it ever in her life. And her husband looked pretty big and in shape. But he's miserable. And everybody loses point. Everybody lost the point. All you hear all over the place is, oh, but you know what? The team did the right thing. And yes, big credits to the team. They did a great job. They gave the kid a lot of different balls. They had a signed bat by Harrison Bader. That's badass. That's badass. That's a memory that kid will never forget. But you know what he's never going to have? That home run ball. The dad's like, oh, I'm pleading with her to give it back. He's never going to have that home run ball. And no matter what they did to replace that home run ball, the stench of his dad taking the ball out of his glove and handing it to the woman to shut her up is going to be with that kid forever. And this is the attitude that he is going to take for the rest of his life.
I wasn't very happy that we had to give it to her, but we can't win.
We can't win. That is the saddest thing I've ever heard a child say. Have you heard this anywhere else in the news? Have you heard anybody play this? You have a kid on national TV, and his dad's doing this fucking media tour talking about, oh, we have to de-escalate. I heard him say that 5 different times today. And you have a kid here saying, I wish we didn't give it back, but we can't win. What's the conversation that he had on the way home with that kid? My son's had some rough conversations on the way home from baseball games. Usually that's like in Little League when he showed no effort. Those were some fun conversations driving home. This had to be a doozy. Hey, Dad, why'd you give my ball back? Why didn't you tell that bitch to go fuck herself? Like if I was an 8-year-old and my dad pulled that shit, I think I'd be asking questions. I can tell you right now, my dad would not have pulled that shit. My dad would have stood up and said, go sit the fuck down. Now, he wouldn't even let her talk. Go sit the fuck down. And you know what? She would have. Because my dad's got this look in his eyes where he like, ugh. She would just went, okay, yeah, no problem. Get the fuck out of here. Go sit down. Shut up. And let me just dispel another myth that I think everybody knows. It's first come, first serve with home runs. Don't care. Okay. I said this on Facebook. It can hit you in the face. Literally hit you in the face, land in your lap. Somebody could reach in your lap and grab it if you don't have your damn hands on it. Hold it up saying, this is mine. You almost have to take one of those home run balls, hold it up to the heavens and say, mine, and you're claiming it as such. And until you do that shit, it is open game. Have you ever seen people running full sprints, diving? People diving over stands to get these things when they're empty. If they're hitting to an empty section, you watch people like conversing on that thing like they were going for $1 million. It's very interesting. I don't know. It is very, very interesting. But to me, I think that's one of the saddest things that we can say. Yankee 68 said that bitch would not have gotten that ball. BT Pod, what's going on? BT Pod, my man Fresh Mike says, let's go. That dude was a pussy. See him filling his arms when the woman grabbed him. Yes. He looked like he was doing world peace. Didn't he? Like in Miss Congeniality. It's like, I really do want world peace. Oh. oh my God, that's kind of, it's like, ah. So fucking such a beta father. This is what's going on. The boat. What's up, boat? Said that was mental woke shit. My games make us weak. Yes, sir. Jersey Abe says shut up, cunt. Always. Always works. Shut up, cunt is exactly right. Let's go off a little bit because I'm in the mood of just going off because let's stick with baseball really quick. Let's check out this. Watch this. This is a couple days old. I actually had this for Friday, so I'm going to play it early on today. Check this out. This is a pitcher getting a grand slam hit off him, not listening to his catcher in the first place, and then being just an asshole right after. Watch this sequence.
Sends that one to left. Altuve going back, watching this one. That's a slam the other way against the Giants.
Just even more rare that both home runs today have come off the left-handed hitter's bats.
Yeah.
Only coming into this game, giving up one home run to a left-handed hitter this season.
Okay, so let me tell you right now. Every pitch, if I was that catcher, every single pitch from that point on, the batter would have known what was coming. I would have said fastball, curveball. I literally would have told him until that guy got destroyed. And then we would have had a conversation afterwards. Because that was your catcher was telling you to stop. You don't stop. You throw the ball. You get a jack hit off of you. And then you cross them up. Because if you don't know what you're looking at right there, that catcher was obviously looking for something to break. And he threw a fastball right in the middle of his chest. These guys throw way too hard for that type of bullshit. Way too hard. What if he's not expecting that, hits him and weird in the neck? You don't know. He's not tucked in, ready to go. He's like this, ready to catch a curveball. To me, that is a major problem. I would hate it. Now the Giants. Let's get to the Giants. I like how the chat. I don't know if you guys like sports, but I don't care. It's the last time I'm going to say on the Giants. I was excited for a second. The Giants came out, and I was excited for a second. Now, I'll give Washington. Washington looks very tough. Jaden Daniels looks very tough. But I'm trying hard to understand how the Eagles can have everybody. I mean, the Eagles have everybody. The Redskins are building. The Cowboys, fuck the Cowboys. Let's not even discuss them. But the Giants seem to have decent players, but can never get a line to protect the quarterback. This has been the same thing for 10 years. They have no offensive line whatsoever. The quarterback's running for fucking dear life. Poor Daniel Jones was running for his life from the second he got into the quarterback position until the second he left in the Giants. And then what did he do last week? Daniel Jones went like 22 for 27 for 272 yards, scored on every single possession they had with 3 touchdowns, 1 passing and 2 running. And he looked like a completely different human being. He wasn't running out of the pocket. He was standing tall in the pocket, stepping in, delivering a football. The throws that we all knew he could make, but he was running for his life with no one open. And he's doing it with the Colts. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, Miami sucks. When did Daniel Jones ever do that for the Giants? He's never done that for the Giants. Never. He was running for his life with the Giants. So, okay, there you go. Giant football, disgusting. Is it the quarterback or is it Brian Dable, the head coach? Or is it Schoen or whatever, how the fuck you say that idiot's general manager's name that was laughing when oh, yeah, Saquon, he's going to go. Saquon Barkley could not run on the Giants. He kept getting hurt. He was getting the shit kicked out of him. He goes to the Eagles and has 2,000 yards in an MVP season? And it's not the system. It's not the Giants. It's not the head coach. It's not. I'm even going to blame the ownership at this point. Your team is horrific. If I have to watch that, I'm not watching it. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, Period. Ever watching football. And everyone's like, oh, it's not Russell Wilson's fault. Yes, it is. He has sucked for the last 5 years. I was hoping that they were going to do something somewhat creative. But if you watch NFL Red Zone, like I was doing on Sunday, I was switching back and forth, and you watch other games and you watch other offenses, look at the Redskins versus us. When you're watching that, it's like dump off pass to the tight end for 4 or 5 yards, 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 2 yards here. It was like a little, what do they used to call it? Matriculating the ball down the field. With the Giants, it was drop back, run for your life, get hit. Drop back, run for your life. Here, hand the ball off. Can't run the damn ball. Skadbu comes in, throws a shoulder into somebody. Then it takes 3 of them to get him out. You don't bring him back in for the rest of the game. It makes no sense to me. None of it. Watching Daboll for the last, how many years now? And are we really going to let him completely destroy another quarterback? He destroyed one. Do we want him do we want our offense and our talent, this new draft pick, being destroyed by this guy? Because you get 2 years of him, it's over with. Sorry, lost all confidence in this. But, dude, let me tell you something. The game last night, if you didn't see it, Ravens versus Bills. First off, love it. I have Derrick Henry on fantasy, so he goes crazy. It's like he gets nothing, and all of a sudden people just get afraid to tackle him because he's so big and he's so fast. But they were up big. What was it, 40 to 25 in the fourth quarter? Came back and won. Bills came back and won. Let me tell you something. That Josh Allen is an absolute fucking stud. Jersey Abe says, go Bills. Yankee 68 says, oh, you don't care. Well, I'm tired of baseball and football players being dicks. I might have to go back to flag, Doc. Who cares? Overpaid bunch of bitches. Yeah, dude, you know what? They really are a bunch of overpaid bunch of bitches. But you know what, dude? On a Sunday, it's good to get my head on you. This is why I stopped watching football, was because politics and bullshit and LGBT and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff got involved in it. And I got away from it for a little while. But my brain needs a break from a lot of this all the time. You know, the sports and all that, it gets my head off of worrying about the other people, right? Because if we're being honest, we just did a story about Ilhan Omar, $30 million. Is there more of an uptight bitch than her? Yeah, we fucking have to listen to her in the Congress all the damn time. When AOC gets out, she's going to be millions. She's going to be worth millions. We all know that. They're the whiny bitches, the politics. So, yeah, I go from whiny bitch sports to whiny bitch politics. There's plenty of other things to do on a Sunday. I feel you. I used to play baseball every single Sunday. Now I want to lay down and not move on Sunday. Shaky 68. I work so damn hard. I feel what you're saying. I was doing this for a while, and I don't blame you, man. I really don't blame you. Let's do this. Let's move on to Mamdani and Cuomo. And I'm going to start off with Cuomo. I was listening to Cuomo being interviewed today. And you could really see, I don't know what's going on in the media, but you could see that they want to make it a two-person race. They want to get Eric Adams out. They want to get Sliwa out. And they want Cuomo versus Mamdani. Now, I don't know why that is, because I don't think Cuomo's that strong of a candidate. But the truth is, out of Eric Adams and Sliwa in New York, Cuomo probably is the best candidate when you look at electability out of all three of them. He was already elected once in New York. So when you look at who does actually have the best shot against Mamdani, it's him. And they are going to have to unite if they're going to beat this guy. He's hanging out around 42 to 44% of the vote. So he has not hit 50% yet. But he's hanging out 44, ish percent right there. And you have Cuomo and you have Adams very low, but Sliwa is taking up about 12 to 13% of that vote. I don't know if Sliwa vote's going to go immediately to Cuomo, so I don't know if him getting out is going to hurt anybody. I think Adams and Cuomo are going to split the vote on each other, which is going to hurt each other. The far left wing of the party is clearly the dominant strain in New York, and it's clearly the Democratic Socialist wing of the party. But Cuomo said something very interesting, and if you've noticed, Mamdani's trying to run on Trump. We've talked about this before. Mamdani's running on Trump. He wants to shift the focus to him versus Trump, and he thinks that's going to be a very good strategy for him. And I thought it was as well. Then I heard this by Cuomo, and this is very slick. And this is why I think maybe Cuomo is, and I don't like him, but maybe he's the best one to go head to head because they have to do it. Splitting this up, they're guaranteeing Mamdani. It's not even close. But this answer was very slick. Give it a listen.
Where do you differentiate yourself from President Trump? Where do you differentiate yourself from Eric Adams?
Yeah. First, on President Trump, as I said, I believe the Republicans would love to have Mamdani win. It serves their politics. It would hurt the Democratic Party nationwide because the socialists would have taken over the Democratic Party. Mamdani loves to pivot against Trump. If Mamdani wins, let's just call it Mayor Trump. He would take over New York City. He already is moving to take over New York, right? He took over Penn Station. He's talking about taking over 9/11. He has said if Mayor Mamdani becomes a reality, he would have to come in to protect public safety.
So you think the National Guard shows up?
More than the National Guard.
My understanding is it's harder for him to bring the National Guard into New York City, given some of the state laws and other things, than it is, for example, in Washington, D.C. Is that right?
There would be a legal challenge on the National Guard. But forget the National Guard. I was in the federal government. I was in Bill Clinton's cabinet. You control all the funding. You can stop the health funding, the housing funding, et cetera.
Did you hear that? To me, that is a very, very, very good message. If you elect Mamdani, you are going to get Mayor Trump. Very fucking smart. Because he knows it. Then what did he do? He said, no, it's not National Guard. Get away from that. It's the funding. How is he going to implement all the things he wants when he gets most of his funding and a lot of his funding from the federal government? When you rely on the federal government, he's going to be relying on Trump to make all of his socialist dreams come true. And what he's saying is what's Trump going to do? Trump's not going to allow it. So he is going to de facto take over the city by taking the money away. To me, that's brilliant. That is a brilliant strategy because what do you have here? You have this guy in Mamdani who has this very warped. We know this stuff doesn't work, but he's dressed in a different cloth. And this is what these socialists, this is what these communists, you think they went away when they say we defeated communism back in the 30s? Do you think these people went away? No, they're just dressing up differently. And now what they're doing is they're doing it through religion. Because let's face facts, the Muslim stuff, that's built a lot around communism as well. When you look at that dictatorship, that commune, that's all wrapped up in the same package. So what do you get? You get the government to import a lot of people into certain areas. You get someone like him elected mayor. Now where are you? I've been saying it for a really long time. This is what that religion's goal is. That religion's goal is to get out into the world and spread Allah. That is what their stated purpose is. Many of them, the ones that are really devout, they're never going to accept you. They're never going to accept America. They're never going to accept the Constitution because it is anti their God's teachings, period, and plain and simple. And right now, what you have in the city that got attacked by Muslims, this is the official story. The city that got attacked by Muslims is now going to be ran by them. They attacked it, they took down a building, and now they're taking it down from the inside. They tried attacking it once, and now they're taking it down from the inside. That's really the story. Whether you believe in 9/11 conspiracies or not, that is the story. And now you're going to have somebody, and I'm not saying, he's attached to the people that did that. No, but he's attached to the religion. And listen to some of the things that this guy is talking about. Emptying prisons.
The jail population of Rikers has increased since Eric Adams has come into office by more than 1,000 additional incarcerated New Yorkers. And what is quite staggering to me is that we know that we can reduce that jail population to less than 4,000. I mean, Vital City had an article about a number of different proposals that could reduce it to 3,700. And some of this also just has to look at the average stay on Rikers in the 90s was 50 days. Now it's more than 100. There are more than 1,500 people on Rikers who have been held there for more than a year. So I do think many of the reforms that have to be made are also reforms around the court system and ensuring that people are actually having speedy.
Ensuring people that actually have speedy trial. Sorry, my finger got a little quick with that one. But think about that, what he said. We could reduce the jail population, get more criminals out on the streets. That's how you destabilize your area. That's what these people want. You have to have violence. You have to have destabilization forces. You have to. That way it gets crazy enough for them to want to completely surrender over to his rule. This isn't very difficult stuff. El Salvador is we have test cases all over the world of this stuff. The areas where they just let people out of jail all have more crime. The areas where they take the criminals and lock them up and do not let them on the streets have less crime. It's an amazing phenomenon. I mean, it's something that you can't even possibly wrap your brain around if you even tried. Not at all. Who would have thought? Take the criminals off the streets are safer. Wow. That blows me away. Let's get to some of the chat. So it says sports all day. Jersey Abe, I love it. Sports all day. You watch sports all day with your kids, though. All day long, you see them. Boondock guy, my man, what's going on? He says, why is there such a thing called the Black National Anthem? Fucking treason. Oh, do we want to switch gears for a second? We'll come back to Mamdani. The Black National Anthem. Is it fucking treason? I don't know if it's treason. I wouldn't throw it in the treasonous category, but I would. It's one of those things where is it doing what its intended purpose was supposed to be able to do? Is when they call it the Black National Anthem, just by saying we sing the national anthem and then we sing the Black National Anthem, you're dividing America into two groups, Americans and blacks. So right off of that, I don't like the impression that it gives. And I don't like the fact that they're still going into any of that shit. And honestly, what I do is I don't turn the game on until it's into the game. I don't want to see any of that bullshit. I don't watch the pregame shows, none of it. I watch the Giants game and I watch the Red Zone just to kind of see what's going on. Plus, I play the fantasy football, so I kind of have to keep up with it for a little bit. But that to me, I don't understand why it's like that. Because why can't we have an Italian national anthem? What's it going to be? Dominic the Donkey? Right? Or Angelina? You know, Angelina Zuma Zuma. I eat Auntie pasta twice just because she is so nice, Angelina. I mean, what do you play for the Italian national anthem? Ave Maria? I don't know. Then you have to do the Mexican national anthem. Then you have to do the Indian national anthem. And then what Indians do you pick? You have the fucking woo Indians, and then you have the dot Indians. Which one do you? Then you have to have both two Indian national anthems, a Venezuelan national anthem, because you know all of those people they're all different. Brazilian national anthem, Nicaraguan national anthem. Why are we just separating two categories? If we have categories, we have multiple categories. And no one apparently wants to be an American anymore. I do think it's absolutely ridiculous. Biggie says it's not treason. It's the black. It's a black anthem. It's like the song "God Bless the United States." No, the fuck, it's not. Like "God Bless America." No, the fuck, it's not. "God Bless America" is known as "God Bless America," not Black America, not "God Bless White America," not "God Bless Slovenian Americans or Ukrainian Americans." We're going to get to that soon. Yankee 68 says, no, Biggie, it's not like that song. No, the fuck, it's not. It's a fucking game, and they all know how to play it, and they're playing it too fucking well, and fucking us. That is no bullshit. So, speaking of getting fucked, I want to touch on this stabbing really quick because it's one of the more ridiculous things. And let me bring it up here. That was the wrong one. Let me bring this one up. We're going to get to that. Okay. So let's discuss this for a second, man. So I want to show you this image. There's so much that's wrong with that image that it's hard to even rationalize in my head. Let's just go. Let's go here first. Let's take this murderer. The murderer here has been arrested. I don't know. I'm not. It had to be 14 times, and every single time there was a lot of violent offenses, and every single time he was let out. This is a guy that should have been behind bars. This is the type of guy that Mamdani wants to release. This is the type of guy that has done nothing but been violent his entire life. And you have the South Carolina mayor, Vi Lyles, put out this ridiculous statement that I'm going to read to you right now, and I don't even really want to read it to you because it's this disgusting. But I want you to think of one thing. This is a woman that got a knife put in her neck. Imagine if this was a little girl that was sitting in a classroom that got a gunshot to the neck. It's a sad thing to think about. But what really is the difference between a guy shooting a kid in the neck or a woman sitting on a bus on her phone that gets knifed to death? Now let's just put it in full context with this woman. This woman fled Ukraine because it was war-torn. She thought her life was in too much danger. So she comes to America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. She comes to America thinking she's going to be safe. And we take her in. And she sits on the bus. And by sheer just horrible fate for this poor woman, she sits in front of this maniac with her back turned to him and her face down on her phone. We're going to get to that in a second. But the South Carolina mayor, Vi Lyles, she says this. First and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to the young woman's family and friends. Thoughts and prayers are okay now. Thoughts and prayers are okay when it's a stabbing in the neck on their side. That's okay. But thoughts and prayers. This is a tragic situation that sheds light on problems with society safety nets related to mental health care and the systems that should be in place. The first sentence was, this is a problem with society safety nets. While I do not know the specifics of the man's medical record, what I have come to understand is that he has long struggled with mental health and appears to have suffered a crisis. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm going to push this horse shit anyway. I have no idea what this person's really about. But I just know that he was tormented and the system failed her. Or him, sorry. The system failed him. Nothing of the woman yet. The first sentence was mental health and that guy. You give your thoughts and prayers and that's it? This was the unfortunate and tragic outcome. While there are questions about the safety and security of our transit system in our city, I do know that there have been significant and sustained efforts to address safety and security. Charlotte is by and large a safe city. Katz is by and large a safe transit system. However, tragic incidents like these should force us to look at what we are doing across our community to address root causes. We will never arrest our way out of issues such as homelessness and mental health. I am concerned of doing the hard work with Mecklenburg County community leaders, healthcare service providers, and the private sector to ensure that Charlotte numbers continue to be the best cities in the world with the highest quality of life. And you know what? There's a couple more here. We have this one, but I want to be clear that I am not villainizing those who struggle with their mental health or those who are unhoused. Mental health is a disease just like that, a disease like any other that needs to be treated with the same compassion, diligence, and commitment as cancer or heart disease. This is a guy who stabbed a woman in the neck, and you want me to have compassion? Like it's a heart disease? You're the mayor. You've probably been in the system for how long? You failed him. You certainly failed her. Now, everybody wants to turn to these people, and you hear this absolute garbage that she just put out there. Oh, this is a community problem. We as a community, I think this is what she finished up with. We as a community must do better for those members of our community who need help and have no place to go. No. The woman who had no place to go was the woman from Ukraine whose area was being bombed, and she fled. She had no place to go. She's the one that should be protected. He's the one that should be locked up. Yes, you can arrest your way out of this. The problem wasn't the arrest. The problem was the release. You certainly can't release your way out of this. So me personally, I'll settle for arrest, because if that guy wasn't sitting in that seat right there, her sitting down on a bus, looking down at her phone that she probably did 975,000 times. Okay, maybe 400. But that act of doing that doesn't cost her life. Maybe if we keep the arrest and keep the lockup, and we don't release people like that into society, hoping and praying that they're going to change. No, what do? We send them to jail. They become better criminals. They become more efficient criminals. They get way better ideas. They get more fucked up. And then we release them right back out. Yeah, great job. That's a great system. When you say the system failed him, that's a system that's failing us. It's not failing him. You want to talk about root causes? We talk about them all the time. His parents are fucked. Go after his parents. And he probably has 7 kids that he doesn't raise. You want to talk about the real root cause? That's the real root cause. Oh, no, but you throw words around like root causes when you think it fucking means something. It's absolutely driving me crazy. This whole situation is driving me crazy. Now, let's get to this part of this whole thing. I want to show this again. So you look at this picture here. This picture, kids, I want you to listen, everybody. If you're listening on TikTok or any of this stuff, pay attention to this right now. This pose is the universal pose of you kids. No matter where you're at, whether you're in a gas station, whether you're working anywhere, you guys have this universal pose of this. Your head's down. You're not looking in your environment. You are not paying attention. I grew up in karate. I grew up in self-defense martial arts, to the point where it's like if you were turning a corner, you don't even want to take the corner too tight just in case there were people there to fuck you up. You do things in public to protect yourself. And I'm telling you right now, if your attention span has to be on a phone scrolling, devoid of everything that's going on around you, a lot of you guys have the earbuds in. That guy probably could have done a dance and stabbed her, and she probably wouldn't have realized it if she had the earbuds in. Head on a fucking swivel. You want to learn something about this event? You want to take this event and really learn something about it? People, this pose right there has got to stop when you're in public, when you're in a vulnerable situation. Or you know what? You want to pull that shit? Go sit in the back of the bus. That's me. I'm not sitting behind some dude like that. I get on there. I look at who's on the bus. All right. I want to be back there just in case so I can at least have nobody coming up behind me. I hate people behind me. But she felt safe in America. She felt safe enough to come here from a war-torn country, sit down in that seat with that guy behind her, didn't think anything of it. She didn't have a racist bone in her body. Not one racist bone in that woman's body. Because there's a lot of little white girls that would have looked at him and walked right away. She got on there, sat right in front of him, feeling safe. I'm in America. I'm away from the war. I'm safe. Knife to her jugular. And she died on a bus because the system failed her. The system didn't fail the criminal. The system didn't fail anybody but her. And it fails us every single day. And I'm going to take this a step further. We fail ourselves every time we make an outrage over one death and we don't make an outrage over the other death. Every time I bring up shootings in Chicago to my man Patterson, he brings up opioid deaths. Says, what's the difference between an OD and a murder? I think there's a big difference between an OD and a murder, but in the grand scheme of things, a death is a death. How do we stop people from dying when they don't need to be dying? How does that happen? You know, one thing that I do know is by protecting yourself, you could stop yourself from dying. Because I don't think there's a magic bullet. Everyone wants to turn to government and say, hey, what could you do to help me out? How are you going to help me? No, you have to help yourself. This is why you can't let the government limit any of your rights in any way, shape, or form. And we had this one fucking complete idiot. Where is he? Tim Kaine. I want to play this idiot. Because this is what I played Mamdani earlier, and you see where the left is going. You see where this leftist party is going. And then you have someone like Tim Kaine who says something like this.
That rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator. That's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling.
Did you hear what he just said? They believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. I do know what my natural rights are. I do know. It's very easily spelled out. It's really spelled out in something that, I mean, you being a senator, I thought you would have had fucking read. It's called the Bill of Rights. You are endowed by your creator. You are endowed, not by God, not by your God, not by whoever you believe in. You are endowed by your creator, whoever made you, by inalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We had a woman from the Ukraine come here for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. She didn't get life. She didn't get liberty. She got a pursuit to get stabbed in the fucking neck. And you have a guy like that that's going to sit up there and he's going to say some horse shit like that. That you don't believe what your natural rights are. I know what my natural rights are. My natural rights are to be able to protect myself from you and from that crazy maniac, and to protect my family from them as well. My rights aren't to hide like Canada wants me to do. My rights aren't trying to hope somebody comes and saves my life. One of my rights in the Bill of Rights is not you have a right to be saved by your police. No, I have a right to defend my life, my liberty, and my pursuit of happiness. That's what my creator gave me. That's it. That's all your rights. That's the part of this that drives me fucking crazy. You don't have all these rights unless they are spelled out in the Bill of Rights or the amendments. In the Constitution, this is very, very, very clear. But they want to get to the point where you don't have your natural right to life. Then they could get around and they could take your real right of self-defense, your right of the Second Amendment. And now Yankee 68 says nobody gets behind him, and you come in front of him, he is going to put you down like a lame horse. But everybody, I got to tell you, you have got to stop looking for the government to save your life. You've got to stop this. You have got to take your life in your own hands. The government does not have your best interest at heart. It has its best interest at heart, not yours. Its. We can't listen to these politicians anymore. We have to stop listening to these so-called experts. And if you're going to listen to an expert, at least listen to 4 or 5 different experts speak on the same topic. That way you could see where the similarities and where the differences really lie. And then you can decide who do you like better or not. At least it's an informed decision. But we have these people in our government that do not have your best interests at heart. Just to put a stamp on this and take it into a COVID direction. Not for a long time, just to put a stamp on it. Here's Mandy Cohen, a former CDC director, on how they really made COVID policy. Check this out.
I would call, probably the person I called most was the Secretary of Health and Human Services in Massachusetts. She worked for a Republican governor but you know, when she was like, are you going to let them have professional football? And I was like, nope. And she's like, okay, neither are we. You know, it was like conversations like that. So, or I'd be like, so when are you going to think about lightening up a mess? They're like, next Monday. I'm like, okay, next Monday.
That's how they made their policy. Oh, yeah, are you going to do this? Well, I think I'm okay. Yeah, so we'll all do this at the same time. You're going to let them have NFL football? These are people that are so drunk on power that this is what's happening. They're so drunk on their own power, their own self-worth, that they throw it onto you. Over and over and over again, you have to wear it. So when I say these people don't have our best interests at heart, I'm speaking directly to any kids that are going to be watching this in clips. Get your face out of your device and have your head on a swivel when you're in situations like that. Have some self-awareness. You have to treat it's like when people who ride motorcycles, they go out. One of the things my dad always said that I paid attention to, he says, if you're on a motorcycle, you ride that bike like everyone on the road that is in a car is out to kill you. And in situations like that, when I go into Philly or I go into certain areas where I don't feel comfortable, my head is not going down into my phone. My head's going to be up. My head's going to be on a swivel. And I'm going to be paying attention to my surroundings. And the only way we're ever going to do this, everybody, is you have to help yourself. That's it. You have to help yourself. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more stories. Which one is this? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Watch out. COVID razor throat. The new variant found in over 15 U.S. states. COVID razor throat. They got it. This is the new version. This is like Madden 5. What was it back in the day? It'd be Madden 95. This is like the 5th version of the COVID. Now it's COVID razor throat. You got to watch out for that one. I got to tell you, the first COVID was a headache and a sore throat. And in the lungs. So I don't know, now it's razor throat. I guess there's a new name for it. The Blaze. I don't know if you guys know the Blaze. That is Glenn Beck's news outlet. The Blaze, man, sometimes they do good stuff. And for whatever reason, they've been on some weird things. Like they're so anti-porn and they're anti-pit bulls. So this is what came across my feed. It said this devastating pit bull attack shows why so many families are left broken and why we need to rethink the dangerous myths surrounding these dogs. They said she was safe, then she was gone. So what they're saying is, oh, don't worry, my dog's safe, and then the dogs attack and blah, blah, blah. And they are really just the nastiest, horrible, most ridiculous dog on the planet. I want to say this really quick in a hurry. If your dog, for the most part, if your dog's an asshole, And especially if you raise it from a puppy. Now, there's dogs that come from the pound. They already have their fucking baggage with them. They come being an asshole. That's a different story. You raise your dog from a puppy and your dog's an asshole, that's your fucking fault. That's plain and simple your fault. It's not the dog's fault. I have a very big breed. He is the nicest dog in the world, unless you come into my house and try doing damage to my house or my family. You're gonna get the teeth. You're gonna get the teeth. Ooh, I have this one. I forgot about this picture. This is the Daniel Penny versus the murderer picture, right? So think about the way the media portrayed this. On the left, you had a hero that was saving people from getting stabbed, and he got charged with murder. And then on the right, you have a woman getting stabbed in the neck. It's very interesting. I saw this come across. It says, yes, a cashier at McDonald's should be able to afford rent, groceries, and bills with their paycheck alone. That's what jobs are for. We tried this. We tried this like 3 years ago in California and other places, and you guys all raised the minimum wage. And now everyone's complaining about how expensive McDonald's food is, and you're blaming the CEO, and they're trying to blame inflation and the whole 9 yards. When you increase someone's labor, they have to either cut labor or cut something. So now when you go to a McDonald's and you only have the fucking kiosk and people in the back are like, oh, you could just order in the kiosk. Nobody even wants to come out anymore and take your damn order. But this is what happens. These people are not losing money. But everything costs more. It's because your dollar got devalued. And it's because of this type of stuff. When you artificially raise the cost of these businesses, this is what you get. Yankee 68 says, if your dog is an asshole, their owner is the asshole. You are not even fucking bullshit. And you have to be offensive and defensive. And what happened to me? I don't know what happened to you. What happened to you? I don't know. I guess, put it this way. I don't know what happened. I hope nothing happened to you because I love you, Yankee 68. You are the fucking best. Anything else? What else do we have here that I could toss this out there? Ooh, check this one out. This one was interesting. I saw this. Ready? Check this. The pink, everything in pink right now this is what's in a vaccine from what I'm understanding. Now I haven't, full disclosure, I have not fully verified all this stuff, but a lot of it I have. Okay. So it says in the pink is human aborted fetal cells, everything in pink, right? All the orange is animal derivative or animal derived. All the yellow that you see is toxic to humans. All the green in these things are allergy irritants, and all the blues are antibiotics. So this is in your typical child jab that we just talked about RFK trying to tell you guys what is actually in this. But there you go, man. That is the show for tonight. I really appreciate everybody being with me. Yankee 68 Boondock says, I hate him just the way the glasses sit on his head. I don't know who that was. But Big E, McD, Jersey Abe, everybody that was in the chat tonight, the boat and PT Pod, really love you guys. Really appreciate you guys being with me tonight, man. Listen, it is, I'm going to try getting back on my regularly scheduled program. I finally really wrapped up that job I was on. I'm not fully there yet, little odds and ends, but it is wrapped up to where I can start concentrating on the next thing that I don't have to go crazy with. With this one, it was dragging and I had to get it over with. I had to get it done. But I'd appreciate you if every single one of you guys that are here, take your finger, go ahead and finger the hell out of that like button. And let's share the shows. Listen, I really love doing this. I love doing the local shows. The local stuff is amazing as well. So if you want to check out what I do as far as locally, be sure to check out the Brick Breakdown. The breakdown's going to be coming. We have Chris Pollock. He's going to be starting the Jackson Breakdown. This thing's going to be growing. The local thing is really big. I encourage you to get involved locally. You want to be a caltrop for yourself? Do you want to be a caltrop for your own mind? It starts with getting involved in locally what you're doing. Maybe not just the politics, but the building codes, what they're building, what they're doing here, getting involved in some way, shape, or form in your local politics, and get your head out a lot of the times out of this nationwide news. Because nationwide news is meant to distract you. What's happening in your own backyard is the big thing that really matters. But I want to say thank you guys again. I will be back. I promise. There's no more, no more of the layovers. I will be back Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys very much. This Caltrop is out. Later.